It's not an easy mine to get to.
Hey, keep coming right a little bit so your back tire doesn't catch the edge. Okay, cut it.
The road we took in to get here was absolutely horrific. I'm really glad it's over. I'm really hoping we can find another way out. Now that we're here, looks like we've got quite the climb ahead of us. We're going to the top. And I don't know if you can tell in 2 dimensions on a screen, but that is very steep. Got some decent looking lower stuff here, but our goal is to shoot to the top first and then work our way down. So I'm sure I'll check in at some point along the way, but that's the plan. I didn't feel like getting my whole camera setup out, so I'm just using my phone. We started way down there. You can see the truck and the ore bin / tram station. Hiked quite a way up. Looking across, you can see an ore bin, top of the tram station there. So hoping to get up to that, to be sure. I'll get the proper camera out when we hit on the ground. But for now, too tired to get it out. However, you can see that we have reached an adit. Looks worth exploring. It was not easy to get here. Started from way down there. We lost one friend along the way, not to death, but fewer heights. And again, I just don't think this is doing it justice, seeing this on 2 dimensions, but this is incredibly steep. Looks like there's a small blacksmithing operation here. You can see the stump and the, this would have been the forge, I believe. Yeah.
Bricks down there.
Is it slag, you said?
No, just the bricks.
Oh, yeah. And he just pointed out there are bricks right there as well. So, all right. Hopefully you can probably hear the exhaustion in my voice. That was not an easy hike, but pretty excited about this one. Just inside the portal, switch over the good camera. Is look ahead. Looks like it gets interesting almost immediately. I mean interesting in a sarcastic way. Workbench here. It looks like I got some ore samples and a hose. A dynamite box. I can't make out the first section. Hopefully some of the audience can. There's a spool down here. That may have been for fuse cord. This is kind of random. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was. That, you could say, was a support timber, but I don't know what the function of the board sticking out was. Somebody loves Tom. Now, what I said was interesting was this. Drops off below me here. No big deal, that's just a few feet down. Can't say the same though about this. And this very precarious looking trestle, or that very precarious looking ladder, or the even more precarious looking rail going out over the ladder to that barrel over there. And that's a no joke drop down below us. Can't see the bottom even. Bunch of boards stacked over here, or tossed over here more accurately. Ooh, I can feel this thing swaying as I'm walking on it. I'm gonna get off that. I do feel airflow, and I think I see daylight down here. Looking down this way, I may be mistaken, but I think I see, I definitely see daylight down there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's daylight down there, and there's airflow here. So, I think we might have found our way down to some lower workings, specifically that ore chute. This might be good, my friend. Meanwhile, I'm hoping that this side passage here bypasses this unpleasantness in front of us. Let's find out. So yeah, that's what I don't want to go plunging down right there. A little pocket there on the right. Even if it doesn't connect, this looks interesting. Kind of a reddish ore. But what I was saying looks interesting is we've got the rail shooting back this way. And there's also, okay, this runs out, joins up over here. Okay, it's still a bit dodgy, but there's a board here. It's pretty dodgy. The board here that runs across and joins over there. I will definitely give that a shot. Stope continues up there. Here's what I didn't want to try and go over. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know how somebody got that ladder there, but whoever did, I respect them. And that's looking down. That's why I didn't want to go plunging all the way down. It's a long way down, my friend. But I think we can make it across that.
It's relatively acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit sporty. If you look to the left, which I wouldn't recommend doing when you're going across, that's a bit sporty if you look there, but I'm going to give it a shot. But meanwhile, let's do the right-hand rule. See where this goes. We got airline and rail going back here, so this might go a little way. Pretty stoped out. Some of that looks natural, but it could just be rough stoping. See the pillar there? There's Banquet Butter Foods. Huh. I suspect that's a box that was repurposed. I don't think they brought a bunch of butter into the mine. Although you never know. You never know. There's more. Another look at that stope above. Ore chute. Pretty extensive timbering overhead, holding back something above, probably something we wouldn't want to see anyway. Oh, look at that. It's a good example of the ore in here there. Ore chute's plugged, of course. The adit keeps running out of sight. Looking back. Yeah, see that's there. See all the heavy rock there that was on top of us? That timber work there is to protect people underneath from having everything up above coming crashing down on their heads. That stope, I'm trying to show you some stumbling around. Stope runs way up there actually. That's pretty impressive. Then looking ahead or moving ahead. Things shrink considerably. And now we're opening up again. Looks like they're cleaning out little pockets here and there. Given how hard it was for us to get up here, can't imagine the labor involved in creating this mine. I mean, it's just staggering to imagine. Yeah, they had a tramway, but even still, just getting all the equipment up here, getting the tramway built, that's unbelievable to me. Alright, looks like we're ending at an ore chute. It doesn't look very big. It's kind of muggy back here, so I don't think it connects to anything. I think it just ends right there. hiking back out now to go to that sporty junction, and there's something here we missed on the way in, which was this interesting crust along the fault here. I don't think the miners blasted this out. I think this was a natural fissure. See all that back in there? And something my friend pointed out is that the faults here, the veins, they run vertically, which almost vertically, I should say, and that matches the layers that we've seen outside. Why it's so steep here. Just making our way across this sporty arrangement here. Yeah, come farther. Yeah, that does wobble a bit. So look back where we first came in. This is quite an arrangement. You know, the more I look at it and take it in, the more quirks I see to it. They had a junction there. You see that?
Yep.
Wow, that is interesting. Still curious about that ladder. That is interesting. But behind us, got a tank here. And a big barrel and another tank, compressed air tank, from the look of it. Wow, that still has a grease in it.
Oh, nice.
I'm so very surprised by that. Mine's not been working in a while. Oh, don't tell me this is the end. There's a bunch of rubble there. I hope that's not the end. There's a stope here with a very primitive ore chute leading up. Above, there's actually looks like an air and water line running up there. Huh. We might have to stick our heads up there and see what's up there. Yeah, looking ahead, this is it. That is an ore chute. That's the end of the line for us. Some pretty big stuff's come down that. As you can see, back at that primitive ore chute, buddy's climbing up to recon that stope. Well, I turned around to look though, I noticed a monkey on the barrel, a carbide monkey. And it looks like there might be something else, but it's hard to tell. Yeah, it's definitely a face. I can actually see it better looking through the screen of the camera than I can in person. But there's a face there. I assumed that was a monkey, but now that I'm looking at the artistic quality of the other one, maybe a person. Hard to say what the intent of the original artist was. How's it look up there?
They just keep stoping up this way as far as I can see.
Is it vertical almost?
Well, it's pretty steep, but not quite vertical.
Okay. Goes up as far as you can see?
This section is vertical and it goes up, I don't know, 25, 30 feet.
Okay.
And then this spot just keeps winging off into its own little passage.
Is it
And I can't see the end because the pipes keep going beyond my point of view.
climbable or no?
Maybe using the pipe, but it doesn't feel the most stable. Yeah.
You can ditch your pack, bud.
Yeah.
That'll probably make it a lot easier.
Hopefully this is stable.
Alright, we'll wait to hear back from him. That Dusty's kicking up. Just cleaning up the pipes from that lower area up in the stope now. I can get a better view of things here. Should probably illuminate it for you. But it's pretty spacious, more than I expected. You see the vein up there, what they're chasing. All through there. There's some timbering up here holding this huge slab in place. Pretty sketchy looking. And if we crawl through here, it gets even more interesting over here. There's a preview. See the old burlap right there in front of my friend. I'm gonna crawl through and join him, and I'll rejoin you over there somewhere. Just crawled through there and I've gotten to this stope chamber. You remember that ore chute that prevented us from going any farther in the drift down there? This is the top of it. Everything drops down through that hole there into the ore chute, and this is the stope that was feeding that ore chute. Looks like a piece of ventilation pipe stashed up there. This is more spacious than I expected. Up there. I can't lean out all the way, but you're getting the idea, I think. Getting more of that reddish rock. And the stope drops down over there as well. Pretty cool. We were just looking in there. We came up from there originally, and it keeps going up this way. My buddy just crawled up there, and it goes in the top of the stope that we were just looking in. In other words, if I were to go back in there, I could see his light shining down. Up that way. Back at the portal, and I've come off the trestle, and I'm looking down here again, and that still looks better than the really steep outside, as steep as this is. So I'm gonna head down and check it out, and if it looks good, I'll have my buddy coming in with me. I don't want him to come down at the same time as me and dumping all this rock on me, but that daylight down there is crying out to me. There's gotta be something down there, and we might even be able to intersect that tram station, so I'm hoping that's what's down there. My friend up there coming down, just moved down through the stope here, which is, no, I wouldn't say it was easy, but it wasn't terrible. I'm at a landing of sorts here. There's an old Shell box in front of me. I don't think I've ever seen Shell products in a cardboard box before. Some old canvas, looks like some jeans or something there. Burlap sack. Below me, stope continues dropping down on the left, and the daylight was coming from over here. Now this gets a bit tricky because I could get down to that point, but then it drops off sharply there, and I'm hoping that that stope on the left will wrap us around to a point where we can get out through there. Maybe you could go along on the right, but that doesn't look very promising, at least from where I am now. So I'm gonna try the left first and see how it goes. This didn't quite go as expected. You can see I've dropped down to a large stope. I came from that side. This is an open stope because the daylight's there. Could climb out that with a bit of a scramble. There's looking overhead. See, it's a pretty big stope. However, it also drops down behind me. There's another level down there, and you see that airline running down there? Ladder there, see the rail down there? We're going down there. I'm very curious what's waiting for us down there if I don't get killed by my friend dropping a rock on me. See the airline is anchored right there. It's kind of interesting. And the airline continues up into the stope above there. So, I'm gonna wait for my buddy to come down and we'll hit this next level. And hopefully that'll lead to the ore bin. Could be fun climbing back up on this. All right, we just scrambled across that section, down these ladders, and we are indeed on a good level actually. Runs off that direction. A little continuation of the stope here. It also runs off in this direction. Another compressor tank there, or I should say a compressed air tank, and ore chute. And it looks like we get water in here, looking up the ground there, which I'm really hoping that leads to the outside world to something good. Naturally, we'll go deeper in the mine. Bunch of wood tossed over here. little raise. I wonder if that connects. That's an ore pass, actually. That probably ties in the stope we just climbed down through. See how the sides are all scoured smooth? A lot of rock came tumbling down that. Look how wide and spacious this is. Wow. That's crazy.
Also, we've got mine cats.
Do we have mine cats?
Got something.
Oh, we do have kitty cats.
I don't know if that's a cat.
It looks like a cat to me. Well, who knows? Sure, an expert in the audience will enlighten us. But that's good, because I see kitty cat prints or whatever those are, and no human prints, so that's good. Other than ours, of course. Still can't get over how wide and spacious this is. An ore chute up here, plugged. And a bunch of junk tossed here. Thought that might have been the end of the line, but keeps going. It's just kind of messy right here. I wonder if this thing here was to help support it or if it had some other function. You see a blast sheet there, or a muck sheet, some people call them. And a bunch of wood. Scraps. Sometimes good things are tossed there, so I'm just making sure we're not missing anything. I don't see anything. More wood scraps. And we pick up the rail. Going back here. Oh man. I'm not really excited about crawling up that, but I'll give it a shot. It's gotta be one of us has to do it, of course. Ah, is that it?
We're not getting anywhere through here. That's it. This is it.
What is this, a backfill or what? I mean, did it keep going at one time or?
Really hard to say because I can't see any gaps. It does get way muggier up in here.
Yeah, I felt it just stepping here.
Yep.
I think that was probably the end, which is why they would toss all that junk and backfill back here. All right. Now I'm very curious as to where this exits. Because this exit, you know, where it looked like this exit, it looks like a sheer cliff from the outside, so see how it looks. We just finished checking out that section, the back where we initially dropped into this level. That compressed air line. Remember we came from up there. And now, we're gonna see what's up ahead with high hopes. Interesting twin ore chute here. I didn't realize these were two ore chutes. Got this one on the left. We immediately have one on the right where the compressed air lines are running up to. And thankfully, this keeps going out that way. Oh, this one's actually open. Huh. That's a pretty big cavity back there. Wow. That's big. I'm too curious as to where this exits out to go up that right now. If we feel motivated on the way back out, we can stick our heads in there, assuming we come back this way. But I really want to know if we can get out to something cool here. Ooh, I see daylight. That's a good sign. Very low. I don't know, you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm bent all the way over at my waist because this is really low and tiny. And there's a gigantic slab blocking the entrance. What does this say? Something petroleum. Huh. Wow. Oh, we're back in a big open stope. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to get over this. I'll turn the camera back on over there. We just came from that direction. So look at those stopes we have come out to. A lot of big slabs coming down. This is a workbench, or what do you think this was?
Probably a little workbench.
Yeah.
Imagine anything else.
Hard to tell. And then you can see at one time the drift ran out. You sort of see the shape of it. But all these slabs have come down and just obliterated what was left of it. So we'll climb out and see where we are in the mountain. That's the section we just climbed out of, where my friend is. The light here is terrible, but there's another drift level running back in that direction. And we made it to the outside world where... oh wow, look at this in front of me. I have to point this out. This whole thing is ready to collapse at any time.
This whole
Yeah,
thing.
this whole section where we're standing now has completely failed and come crashing down and obliterated the portals that were here. If we can see this in the bad light. And this is completely fractured. There are huge air gaps in between all those. This whole thing is being held together just with nothing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time camping underneath that. Then, yeah, here is where that ore would come out. And there is the tram station down there. Amazing. This is such a cool sight. There's another drift level there. Again, the light's horrible. I don't know how much you can see. And all of this is really well hidden from above. We were up there looking down and couldn't see any of this. It just looks like a sheer cliff face, which it more or less is, but there's this notch cut in it. Whew, it's gonna be a hike getting down too. Wow. So the rails, ore would have come out here. Waste rock would have just gotten dumped down the mountain, as you can see. But ore would have been brought over here. There was obviously some infrastructure here that's gone now. But you can see the remains of a grizzly. So they would have dumped the ore on the grizzly. The big stuff, I don't know what they would have done. Maybe they would have dumped it down the mountain. But the stuff that fit, looks like it would have gone down a chute there, or even that pipe into the bin, which is would have emptied into a tram. And you can still see the cables, at least I can. Hopefully you can see them on the camera. And then the ore would have gone in a tram bucket all the way down the mountain to the next tram station there. And then off to be processed in some mill. That is an absolutely extraordinary amount of work. I mean, I hope they made money on this, given the extreme conditions they're operating in here. This is just wild. Wow. The trestle's in front of me. And I've climbed up this little pocket here just to check out this drift here. But that is the end of it right there. So I didn't follow it very far. There's more connection to the stopes here. We're gonna look down into some stopes that have caved there. And then that other drift level I mentioned is down there. We're gonna go check that out now. But these, wow. These slabs are really sketchy. This is really, really crumbly, unstable ground. You can just see it's just ridden with fissures and things like that and cracks. We just scrambled over that death trap. Just look up. See daylights in multiple places. The drift we mentioned in front of me here is air really ripping out of it, which is interesting. I'm not sure what it ties into. But we'll find out very shortly. There's so much air you can probably hear it in the microphone even. It's really screaming out of here. Huh. Sorry, sometimes I'm looking at something and not realizing the camera's not on it. Don't know what that was for. Little passage up there. I'm not sure how far back that runs yet. Bless me. Continuing. There's more up there. It's like I'm wondering if where all that rubble was. There was another drift that punched in somewhere up here. Because it seems like they're upper workings almost, you know. Well, obviously they're upper workings. What I meant was, some actual levels up there. But I just caught a glimmer of daylight. Yeah, I caught a glimmer of daylight there. You can probably see it in the camera now. It could be where the airflow is coming in. That probably ties into one of the stopes we passed earlier. Everything sort of seems to connect in one place or another at this mine. I'm not feeling the airflow so much anymore. And we might have just faced out. It's not my turn though. So we'll see where this goes. I'm sure it goes up to a stope. We both agree it looks stopey.
Yeah, this is this all came down from this stope up here.
Okay.
And it looks like the drift went a little further, and then they stopped, and then they probably started just dumping all this stuff in there.
Okay, so it's all backfilled?
Yeah, so this is just face right, like 5 feet in front of this pile.
Okay.
And then this is all just stoped up stoles.
All right. Is it worth seeing?
Say what?
Should I come see it? Just the average stope?
Yeah, it's just the average.
Okay. Average stope on the left, faces out 5 feet on the right. We just finished hiking down the mountain, and man, our legs are shot. That was brutal. But turn the camera on because I think we found out where the bunkhouse was. See the stone foundation across from me. Looks like there would have been a structure there in that flat area. And then, as I mentioned, got cans all over the place here. Mostly solder tops, which probably suggest 20s or 30s. Sort of seems consistent with those workings we saw as well. Surprised there's not more of the structure left, but somebody easily could have burned it. Oh, what a day. Welcome back to this one though. There's unfinished business here, to be sure. I don't like unfinished business. More to be explored here, with a better understanding of how much time is going to be involved in hiking up. That stone foundation is right there. I've come around the other side of this point, and there are tobacco tins all over the ground here. Purple glass, which also helps date things. More boards, as you can see. And then there's a bunch of charcoal wood over here, so I think that's the fate of the structures that were here, unfortunately. And you can see tram stations, that dark spot right, where is it? There, tram station. And a good view of where we went, which looks insane from here. There's the lower tram station in front of me there. Pretty good view of the lower tram station. Lower tram station there. And then this infrastructure was used to empty out the adit here behind me. There's another one up there. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gated, but we'll go check. Still can't believe we climbed up that. Looking at that now, it looks insane. But yeah, we climbed up that. Long, long day. Well, unfortunately, as I feared, it is gated. Thought it would be. If it's easier to access, it's much more likely to be gated. Looking inside, it's got a rail. It might have been a good one. The waste rock pile is decent. I wish we could get in. Just to be thorough, check out the upper workings. That little waste rock pile there is just a little prospect shaft. No big deal. This waste rock pile is a lot bigger. Extends around here. I sure wish I hadn't left my pack down there. I've just got my phone and light and a helmet right now. An air meter. Over here, a better view of the insanity we climbed up. There's a rock retaining wall in front of me. There's some miner's graffiti etched into this rock here. It's a good surface. You see they messed around with this stuff, but maybe a game of tic-tac-toe or something right there. But over here, got some initials. I think that says 3413.
Yeah, and that says 1912.
And that one says 1912. Perhaps there's more interest. There's an added over here. And it was funny. 40 feet below, it's gated. Guess which is open? No, I'm really sorry I left my pack down there. It's got a fork right inside. Yeah, this camera's good enough. Let's go check it out. Just inside now with the fork. Daylight's right there. This goes and drops down. This looks like possibly a crude ore pass. Hard to say. It might tie into the lower one that was gated. Over here, a bunch of wood scraps on the ground. And, oh, it actually does go. There's an ore chute here. How much you want to bet that drops to the lower level? Bottom level is obviously a haulage at it. There's some cable and wood scrap here. Leads into a small stope up above. That faces out there. There's another stope here, and I don't know if you caught that or not, but that's daylight. Over here, we keep going. A lot of stoping here. I see more daylight. I may not have gated this one because it would be really tough with all these sections that go to the outside world. Now, this is interesting. I think this may not have intentionally daylighted. I think if you look at this big slab here, maybe it did, but obviously something kept running back that way. I was thinking that the top of the adit might have caved, but given how far they ran this up, I'd say that's probably a stope they chased up and just pieces of it slabbed off and fell down. Looking ahead, oh, I'll show you another view of this stope. This stope's also not in great shape. These timbers are not in great shape either. Those are pretty beat up. You've got this retaining wall, wooden retaining wall, holding back a ton of material up there. That's pretty ugly. And then it keeps running back this way. Feel some cool airflow. Some stacked rock. Some gobbing. I don't see any sign of rail being in here. I'd be shocked if there weren't rail, but I don't see any sign of it yet. More stope to my left. Running up. More stope. This is basically just stope. All stope. Ore chute right here. Beat to hell. Remains of an ore chute, possibly. Bunch of wood tossed back there. Some stuff up there, obviously. Got that rock wall. Below me, there's a big pit here. So this is the end of the line for me, at least at the moment. That goes way down there. We got our rock handy?
Yep.
Also daylights, in case.
Ready?
See the daylight? Yes, go ahead. That's deep. That didn't stop falling until I started talking. So I'm surprised the size of the waste rock pile outside from all this. They must have dropped a lot of material down through these stopes. Obviously an ore pass, and that seems lower than where we climbed up from. That might drop down below the haulage at it too. They might have been hoisting stuff up from below. Interesting. Oh, I'm glad you got the energy to crawl and check that out.
Knee pads. Couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, great having knee pads. The knee pad comments are a dig at our buddy who thought he was too good for knee pads and has suffered continuously on this trip as a result. So the word was that runs to the surface. So we'll go outside and see if there's anything else that we or BLM might have missed. Oh, just notice all the dots on the side of the ore chute there. They're tracking the ore car loads. Pretty productive stope. I climbed up a bit more. Good view of the tram station and such here. And what we've got here are the tops of those stopes. You can see that. If I don't fall down the hill. You can see that there. And then perhaps more interestingly, you can see that over here. Much more clearly. See that stope there. Dropping down. Some stoles back there I can see. And then, looks like there's a drift going there. We'll check that. And possibly straight. We'll check that as well. Interesting how those rocks are stacked up there. I'm not sure what the purpose was. But we can at least duck in there and check. Alright. We're past the fence. That's kind of cool. See the stope starting to drop down there. That's just stope right there, not a drift, but let's go look down it at least. Yeah, that's pretty deep. That is, yeah, 30 feet to down there at least, and it keeps dropping beyond. Hard to tell how far. There's more up here. That's pretty cool, I think. Just the underground architecture that the miners and the mining engineer worked out. Looking over here, I don't expect this to go too far, but a number of times I've said something like that and had the complete opposite happen. It'd be hard to count. Okay. And it just faces out right there. I think. I'll be sure. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the line. This is completely ridiculous, but we weren't 100% certain that all this rock here wasn't a waste rock pile instead of being something natural. So, even though we were comfortably down on the bottom, we hiked all the way up this stupid pile of rock, and it's natural. It's come down from the cliffs above. Some of it may be waste rock, but what I'm trying to say is that there's not an adit up here. I'm tired, so what I'm saying is not making much sense. It could be a mix of waste rock, so that wouldn't all be natural technically, but the point being is there's not some huge adit up here that you just had to climb up a little way to get to. That was the whole point of this exercise. There's a metally bit right where's my hand? There. And then there's some more. You can see the cable running down the mountain. There's some infrastructure right there that tumbled down the mountain. All that came from the tram station, which that cable is running up to. There are my friends down there for some scale. It's getting dark. We need to get the hell out of here. Get off the mountain. These roads are really bad. Get off these roads. One last look. We were way up top there. Got the tram station in front of me. And what I want to show you here is the anchor. Pretty serious anchor for the tramway. Just my dusty hand on the hook and the cable to give you an idea of the scale here. You can see the rust shadow really clearly on the rocks as well. Cable's been here a while. Pretty cool. You can clearly see the two ore chutes on the bottom. There's a road running there. So the tram would have brought the ore down to the top, dumped it in there, into the bin, and trucks or wagons or whatever would have emptied those chutes out and been off to the mill. One last look at the canyon as an excuse to show you the beautiful desert sunset. Well, I said these roads were bad. Been having quite the adventure trying to get out of here. Just had to abort this road, or I should say abort our driving down this road. Now we're gonna try a backup, but it's going rough, that is for sure. I told you we're having a rough time with these roads. This is an extremely capable vehicle too. These roads are just really bad. They're doing some road work, grooming. Hopefully we can get through this.